Hey, it's Ollie, and today I thought it'd be fun to make one of these videos. So the artwork that I am working on right here is my recent How to Train Your Dragon 3 fan art that I did. Would have been about a couple of weeks ago now. And so normally when I paint digitally, I'll actually use Photoshop and an Intuos 3 tablet. Yeah, totally OG. But here I decided to just do everything out of the ordinary and out of my comfort zone. This is what I would consider my first proper, fully finished illustration on my iPad with Apple Pencil, and I'm using Clip Studio Paint, which is also a program that I've never actually used before. So that was somewhat of a learning curve, but it wasn't too bad to catch on. It's quite similar to Photoshop. I would say it's actually a mix of Photoshop and Psy. And I like how, while I haven't really used those options quite yet, I like how it has the comic option and also storyboard options. I think that's really cool. And hopefully I'll get to try those and work out those options a little bit later down the track. In terms of the iPad sort of user interface, I really like it. It's Apple. I like how I can draw directly onto the screen, and I like I like how you can zoom in with your fingers and how double tapping of two fingers is Control Z. I think that's really convenient. And also I'm still figuring out my setup and what's the most efficient way to work in Clip Studio Paint. But I really like the left sidebar here. So you've got all those buttons and you've got extra hotkeys that you can set yourself as well. So what I've got is T1 and T2 brush sizes. So T1 is brush size up and T2 is brush size down. T3 I've got set to flip horizontally. T4 I've got it set to flip vertically. The more I think about it, I don't actually really use the flip vertically that much, but if I think of something else that's more convenient, I'll probably reset it to that. Otherwise, I'm happy for it to stay as that. T5 I've got set to save, and I know that Clip Studio Paint has the automatic save option, but I'm super paranoid, so I just feel comfortable having the save option as a hotkey just in case the autosave hasn't saved up to the point where I'm at. So yeah, in terms of brushes, I'm still at this point trying to figure out what brushes I like. Here for this particular piece, I don't actually usually draw in this sort of style. Usually a lot of what I draw has a very defined line art. But for this series of paintings for How to Train Your Dragon, I wanted to try my hand at lineless art, which is something I absolutely adore. I really love lineless art, but I've never actually really tried doing it myself. So I decided to try doing that for this set. And it's been really fun. Like, I enjoy it. I'm still trying to work it out and figure out a more streamlined process for it, but for the most part it's been really fun, and I want to try and do it more for other things as well. What else can I talk about? So, oh yes, back to brushes. Sorry, I ramble a lot and go on tangents a lot, so I need to get myself back on topic. In terms of brushes, the main brush that I've used here is, I believe it's the very first oil brush in the paint section, and I've just tweaked it a little bit to have it blend how I like and all of that. This brush really reminds me of the brushes that you have in Psy. I really like, someone just messaged me. I really like the blending options that you can control. You don't really get that sort of thing in Photoshop, so I thought that was fun. And yeah, so I think this brush that I have here works well for what I was going for. I really liked how it blended. Yeah, and it really did feel like how oils tend to blend. So that was fun. In terms of my, I guess, layer setup, it's usually pretty simple. I try not to have more than, I would say, 15 layers. Because any more than that, I can't really keep track of what I've done where. I also like to always name my layers so that I know exactly what they were used for. So it's really really bothering me right now because I can see that I haven't named one of the layers and it's still set to layer 1. What are you doing, Aully? I think it's quite important to get into the habit of naming your layers. Something short, something to the point, so that you look at it and you know exactly what that layer is used for. Just so that if you stop working on a piece and you might come back to it, let's say a couple of days later, maybe even a week later, you can look at those layers and know exactly what it is that you've done on them. So with the characters for this piece, because it is more simple, I've decided to keep them in one layer and also do all of the shadows and shading on the one layer as well. Since it is lineless and I tried to go for the more simplistic blocky look. So that is Hiccup and Toothless. We're currently working on Toothless. So with the lineless art, I'm not sure if there probably isn't a right or wrong way to do it, but I would just set the sketch layer to a low opacity and then just turn it off and on as I work on the actual illustration itself. So you'll see me going back and forth a lot, turning it on and off, and also zooming out. For some reason I haven't set, usually I like to have a little thumbnail navigation thingamabob on the right side. It's not set up there for some reason, so as I work, I've just been zooming out since it is so easy to do so. Just zooming out, taking a look, seeing it from afar, and then zooming back in to work on the little details of the piece. And yeah, so it's been really fun. I feel like just everything combined, like getting used to working on the iPad, not having my keyboard shortcuts, working in a new program, and also trying out a new style. There was just a lot of things to get used to. So I felt like it did take me quite a bit longer than it usually would to finish this piece. But I'm really happy with how it turned out. I like the colors and I like the style. So I'm hoping for my next piece that I can replicate it and, do it in the same style. That would be ideal. So the plan that I have to do is I've already done one other piece similar in this style, and I wanted to just do 3 posters, one for each of the 3 movies. So I've already done my second How to Train Your Dragon movie poster, and I've already done this one. So the next one I want to work on will be for the first movie. And I was hoping to recreate the clearing scene where Hiccup and Toothless, first meet properly and form a friendship. So I want to recreate that scene because I think that scene is really important and pivotal in this whole How to Train Your Dragon journey, let's say. I'm really sad. It's very bittersweet that, the series, at least the movies, is coming to the end. There is still the animated series, which is awesome. I haven't actually sat down to really watch that yet, but I'll get to it eventually. And yeah, so very bittersweet. This series means a lot to me. I feel like it's one of the big reasons why I wanted to, get into the film industry and why I studied 3D, and why, I'm always trying to draw and create stories and all of that. So yeah, it has a really special place in my heart, always will, even when it ends. And yeah, so I just wanted to create some fan art in dedication to it. Just for this style of painting, I just figured it would be fine to do it all on one layer. I think it would probably be like if there were any major changes that I needed to do, I feel like it wouldn't be too hard to do those, just because of how simple the actual shapes are. If there's anything you wanted me to talk about, like in more depth, I'd be happy to do that. I don't really know. I'm still trying to figure out what sort of topics I'd like to talk about. It'd be fun to make like a little weekly series talking about something, but I'm just not. There's so much I'd like to talk about. So I probably just need to sit down and think about what it is I want to create, like video content wise, on this channel anyway. Right now I'm kind of just doing whatever I want, so every week, it was one of my New Year's resolutions was to post a video every week. Didn't matter what type, it was just meant to be a video. Obviously that hasn't happened. I haven't been posting that regularly, just when I can and when I can find some spare time in my life to edit videos and also record them. But it would be good to, have a routine, try and upload once a week, especially now that convention season is coming to a close. Hopefully I can have more time to sit down and plan and think about just the sort of stuff I'd like to be creating and putting out there. Because ever since my last job, where I had to do a lot of editing and just piecing together videos, I realized that I actually really enjoy editing and creating videos. So I'm not at that job anymore, but I've learnt all these new skills and have like a newfound appreciation for making videos. So I just want to do that for myself as well. So here, I'm turning old Hiccup back into young Hiccup. I just thought it was funny that I decided to go this route, to just literally copy and pasting it and then just working on top of it. Oh look, I'm shrinking him to make him smaller. He was so small in the first movie. Oh, and just painting over. Interesting. Even looking back at what I did, it's always quite interesting to see. Oh, he still has his old face. Oh, there we go. There's me making it his young face. But yeah, even just looking back at these recordings, I think it's also useful for me to have a look at it and like break it down and see what I did, see what I could have done better. So very much in that sense, I feel like these videos are really useful for me too, just in my reflection and art making. But yeah, I hope you guys, like this sort of thing. Please let me know if you do, and please let me know if you don't too, because at this point, like I said, anything that I upload, it's all sort of just whatever I feel like uploading. So it's this place is really just a mismatch of everything. I've done like vlogs, I did like a makeup attempt video, but yeah, so, and I did also a time lapse of traditional art, which was interesting, but that had no voiceover. So yeah, let me know what sort of content you guys like seeing on here and what you'd like to see me do. It'd be really fun to just try new things and give everything a go. That's pretty much everything, and the video is just about to end. Thank you for sticking around if you're still here after all of that. And I look forward to making the next video. Thanks, guys. Bye.